In the last lecture, we have covered about a basic list called days, wherein we have listed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on, and we have used it. Now, in this lecture, let's focus on a list with some integers and various operations what you can do on a list of numbers. Let's get started. So here we have a list of 10 integers. Great. Now, if I want to print all the numbers, we can directly do it this way. Print and the name of the list. Here it is L. Now let's save and run, and we get the list of numbers. Now what if I want to iterate through each of the element? We can use for loop for some x in this list, print the x. What this will do is it will pick up each element, it will store into x, and that x is getting printed. So that's how you print a list of numbers one by one. Now suppose I want to print a specific element. We can do it. Print L followed by square brackets, and we need to give the position of a specific element. Maybe if I want 45, this is 0, 1 and 2. So let me give the index 2. So as I execute, it should actually print 45. Let's run it. Yes, we have the 45. Now what if we want to print from 45 next 3 elements? We can do it this way. Print L, the square brackets. You can specify the position where the element has to start. Let me give it as 2, and this is 3, and this is 4, and this is 5. So I want these 3 elements, therefore I'll give till the last element 90. So that is about 5. Let's save and run. We have 45, 11 and 57. So you need to keep in mind that, so when you specify the start element, that particular element will be printed, but the upper limit, that element is not printed, it is till that element. So 2, 3 and 4 are printed, 5 is not printed. Alright. What if I want to print 0, then 2, 4, 6, 8 and so on. So I want to skip one element. We could do it. Print L of, I want to start from 0, then I want to go on till 10. So this is the starting, this is the ending. We can also specify the step. If I give the step as 2, basically it will take every second element. So if I run this, you see that there are 5 numbers which are being printed. This is basically the 0, then 2, 4, 6 and 8. Now instead of this, if I give step as 3 and run it, now we get the 0, then we get 3, then we get 6 and 9. So step is basically to skip certain number of elements. Now what if we want to change a specific element? Something like I want to change the 90, which is position 8. So I could do it as L of 8. Instead of 90, let me give it as 200. And if I print the list, so let me do it twice. Let me print the list before we change and after we change. Save and run. Now if you compare, you can clearly see 90 is being updated to 200. That is the reason why in the top of the heading I have given it as mutable. Mutable is something which can be changed or altered. Perfect. Now adding an element at the end. So if you want to attach one element after this 128, we can use a function called append. So L dot append, let me give 150 and let me print the L. Here you can see 150 is added. Now instead of adding at the end, Can we add somewhere between? Yes, we could do it. So for this, we'll use something called insert. L dot insert. You have to specify the position and then the value. So let me take the position as 3 and let me take the value as 50. You run it. Now, if you see, this is 0, 1, 2, and 3. So at position 3, we got element 50. Because of this insertion, the list of elements have actually increased. Great. Now, what if you want to remove? Maybe I want to remove 22. So we could directly do it as L dot remove 22. So the new list doesn't have the value 22. The last and the most frequently used one is searching the list. Suppose I want to know whether a specific element is there or not. Maybe like I want to search for 57. So I could say, let's directly print it. Print of L dot index. Index will basically give you the position. So let me take the position of 57. So this will return a key value where exactly it exists. So if you run it, you see that it is at position 5. Is it 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5? So that's how you can identify whether a specific element is there or not. I would recommend everybody to quickly take this quiz before you proceed further. Now sometimes we might want to generate a list automatically instead of typing. So for that we have a function called range. So if I take r is equal to range of 5, which we have used already, this will generate a list of 5 numbers. But this return type is of format object. It is not converted to a list. So if you want to typecast, you have to wrap it in list. What this will do is it will pick up 5 numbers 0 till 4. So let me print this r. As you can see, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what if I want to generate a list from a specific number to a certain number? We could do it. R is equals to list of range 2 to 10, and let's print this r. So what happens? The list will be started from 2, it will go on till 9. This 10 is not taken. This is the upper index which will be skipped. So if you run, you see it goes from 2 till 9. Great. The last is, can we include a step in range function also? Yes, we could. Something like r is equals to list of range 2 to 10, and I can give a step as 2. And let's print this r. Now you can see we are getting the alternate numbers. Now here one very careful distinction you need to identify. When we're trying to print a list of elements, we're using the colon because it is one element and you're specifying start and end. When it comes to a range, range is a function. So the arguments which you're passing should be passed with comma, not colon. So keep this in mind. Now there is a possibility that sometimes you want to create a list of elements where you don't want the elements to be changed. Then we have a concept of tuple. This is tuples. Okay, tuple is immutable. That means you cannot change the value. Now first of all, how do we define a tuple? It looks very similar to how the list will appear. I'll take a variable called t. Instead of the square brackets, we can use the circular brackets. Let me take 1, 2, and 3. If I print the t, you should see that 1, 2, 3. Now if I try to change, let's say t of 0 is actually 1. Let me make it 100 and let me print the t. You run it. Immediately you might generate some error. What it says is tuple object does not support item assignment. That means if you have taken a value at a certain position, you cannot alter that value later in the program. So if your program demands where data of particular elements should not change, then it's always good practice to go with tuples. But most of the time, we always operate with less. Alright, try to solve these questions.